The stars and stripes are everywhere, proudly on display. Race cars, pit areas, all throughout the grandstands here at Dover Downs International Speedway as we bring you NASCAR on TNT, the MBNA.com 200. About set to go back racing. Mike Skinner's your leader. Jimmy Spencer second, Jeff Green third, Ryan Newman fourth. Fifth is Kevin Harvick. Then you've got Mike McLaughlin, Eldon Sawyer, Kevin LePage, Greg Biffle, and David Green.
Ryan Newman gets passed by Kevin Harvick. He's getting passed by Mike McLaughlin. And here goes Harvick on the outside of Jeff Green.
Got to be careful on those restarts not to leave that hole open on the right side, because you can legally pass before you get to the start-finish line if you do it on the outside. And Ryan left that hole open. And boy, a couple guys took advantage of it.
If you're Harvick, you got to be careful not to jump before that flag comes up in that starter's hand, too. He's been penalized for that before.
At this very racetrack last year. Kurt Busch or Ryan Newman now back to the 6th position. And you see he's moved up the racetrack, trying to get up. And, oh, don't run in the back of McLaughlin. The 10 car, something off the corner. He had to just jump out of the.
So McLaughlin is through Jeff Green, and now the door's open. 6 of them lined up down there. Here's what happened on the restart. Watch Kevin Harvick.
The 0-2, he left that outside lane open.
It almost looked like he may have missed a shift or something, but the car didn't go when everybody else went. So lucky he had a hole to go to, or he would have got run into.
Now here's Biffle, the 98 car of Eldon Sawyer was up trying to pass the 10 car on the bottom. And Greg Biffle has passed him the 60 car on the outside. And here comes Kevin LePage up on the outside of Eldon Sawyer. Man, these guys have all headed to the top of the racetrack.
6th place. Jeff Green trying to hang on to it. Greg Biffle trying to find a way through. Kevin LePage started back in 13th. 71 car.
Still there.
Wow, Jeff looks like he's loose. That car looked like he got loose getting into the corner that time.
Marty Snyder.
Well, you're right, Wally. He is extremely loose and doesn't seem to be getting any better the longer they run. What he and Ryan Newman are trying to do is move up the racetrack a little bit, trying to tighten their cars up by the line they take on the racetrack. That should help out, but extremely loose right now for the defending Busch Series champion.
Yeah, because what'll happen is, if you're loose, especially going in, if you try to turn the car down to the bottom of the racetrack, that thing just wants to get sideways on you. So you kind of make a straighter shot into the corner to prevent turning the wheel too hard to get the car loose getting in the corner. And that's what Jeff Green's doing right now.
His brother David Green in the 34 has gone through. That's 9th place. Now Chad Little in the 74 working on Jeff Green for 10th.
And we're riding on board with Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the Dr. Pepper cars. He's on the inside, trying to get on the inside of Jeff Green. And now Ryan Newman. These tires, the air pressure starting to build back up. He's losing some of the fuel in the back of the car. The loose situation is getting better. He goes back by the 2 car of Kevin Harvick and moves back into 3rd spot.
While these two have been messing around for that 3rd position, 1st and 2nd have gotten away from them some. Mike Skinner and Jimmy Spencer are out front by about 2.5 seconds. You see the gap there. So they've kind of sailed away.
And BP, when you're talking about earlier, when they burn the fuel off, that actually makes the car heavy in the front. So when you go in the corner, that there's more weight in the front, and that should slide the front tires, which makes it push.
Which makes it push, that's right. That last lap, Ryan Newman, the 0-2 car, was the fastest car of the top 6. He was a half mile per hour almost faster than the 21 car of Mike Skinner.
Matt Kenseth starting to pick his way up through the field. 17 car started 20th. He's running 13th. Trying to get 12th from Hamilton Jr.
Now,
back to the 36 with room.
To me, it looks like the 26 is a little bit loose, too, and the 17 wants to. If he puts his nose right on the bumper of that 26 car, he'll get by him fairly easy.
Matt Kenseth's record here at Dover in Busch Series racing is pretty wild. He either finishes in the top 3 or he doesn't finish. The numbers are 3rd, 40th, 1st, 32nd, 38th, 3rd, 1st, 2nd.
That team came from the back, and he's just back behind your bumper. Behind you now, and he's not moving anymore. Here he comes. He's on your quarter panel. Go, go, go. You're clear.
Mike McLaughlin, the 18 car, has caught Kevin Harvick in the 2 car. And we see Harvick moving up the racetrack to that 2nd groove.
This is 4th place.
As we watch this, Ryan Newman continues to close in on the leader, Mike Skinner.
A wave of thank you there for McLaughlin on Harvick as he goes by him. So McLaughlin, a former winner here at Dover, up to 4th place. Let's mention that 5 cars have gone to the garage already. Bill Hoff never made trouble. Jeffrey Bodine and Joe Nemechek are in it.
Oh, and is that Kelly Dent's
Truex?
Martin Truex Jr.
Car looks pretty clean there for Jeffrey.
Both front tires are flat. Other than that, don't see a lot of sheet metal damage.
There's Truex in that black car with the lime green trim. Mayetta, New Jersey driver, been very impressive in the NASCAR Busch North Series. This was his Busch Series debut. But the 21-year-old will not get a lot of experience today.
Looks like his wheels were pointed in opposite directions there.
Yeah, one's going south and the other one's trying to go west. That's not a good deal.
South and west.
Yeah.
Opposite directions, south and west.
Anyway, we got to talk about that. East and west.
33 laps in, second caution of the MBNA.com 200.
And back here at Dover Downs, point leader Kevin Harvick surprises everybody by making a stop on pit road. They were going to pull a rubber out of the right front. Pit road was closed, and he's now down and away, but he surprises everyone with his early stop.
Other car he's going by is Jeffrey Bodine's machine that was involved in the incident that brought out the second caution of the race. Bodine getting off surprisingly light for a spin at Dover. Interesting situation there for Harvick, pitting before the pit lane was open.
Yeah, I really don't understand that, because we could see that tells you the pit road is closed. Now, as the pace car goes by, the next time, no, it did not that time. It is still closed.
Yeah, it's closed because Martin Truex's car is sitting at the exit of the pit lane with all safety workers around it, and they don't want these guys screaming off the pit road after their stops through the scene where these people are trying to clean up.
Right.
Let's go take a look at what happened and put us under the caution flag.
Well, it looks like Jeffrey might have had a little bit of help. There he is, and he comes off the corner. It looks like a little bit of a bump from Jay Sauter in the 43 car. Around goes Jeffrey, and Joe Nemechek, the 87 car, drives in the smoke and loses control. And we see Truex started to lose the back end.
And like I said earlier, it doesn't take anything here at Dover. I mean, if you just look at the car the wrong way, you're going to get him sideways, getting him off the corner here, especially off of turn 4.
2 team cars damaged. Nemechek, Randy LaJoie just got the left rear corner with his right front. Those are teammates.
Well, that wasn't nice of him.
Now, what happens to the 56 car, Martin Truex, is inexperienced. He saw all the smoke, and he jumped off the gasoline. He just rapidly took his foot off the accelerator. And these cars, you can't do that. That will spin them out almost every time.
You know what it looked like, Benny? In that last look, we just caught it in the very side of it. It looked like he ran into the smoke and came right up on Ron Hornaday's car. Like when he came out of the cloud of smoke, Hornaday was sitting right there, and he turned to the right to keep from hitting him and got into the wall. I think that might have contributed to that, too.
And Jimmy Spencer decides to come down pit road in the 1 car, the second place vehicle.
First, third, stay out. Most of the front runners stay out, but Spencer's in, Dave.
And even though he had caught Mike Skinner, they decided to come in and make just a slight adjustment. Jimmy reported that the car was a little bit loose coming in, but it was great going off. They'll just make an air pressure adjustment to correct that on the 1 car of Jimmy Spencer. Now let's go up pit road to to Marty Snyder.
And Jeff Green has come in, Dave. He started second, had fallen back to ninth. The car very loose. He said in the center of the corner, I am just playing sideways. They're going to take a rubber out of the right rear. That's why it's taking a little longer to change the rear tires than it is the front tires, but it will be a 4-tire stop and hopefully a good adjustment for Jeff Green. To Matt Yoakum.
And Elton Sawyer has already headed back down pit road. But he did say his car was sliding the nose through the corner, has no grip, so they're going to take a half a pound out of the right rear of the 98 car.
So Mike Skinner stays on track and holds on to the lead. Ryan Newman is second. It'll be Mike McLaughlin moving up to third. Then you'll have Greg Biffle into fourth and Kevin LePage fifth. And for the guys like Spencer and Harvick that pitted, they're going to be way back in the 30s in the running order when we get the restart. Back to Dover after this on TNT.